Welcome to the United States of Tiffany. Our commentary offers a humorous take on wrestling. Please note, we're not bullying or attacking the wrestlers. We're engaging with the choreographed sport and its storylines. Our jokes and observations are about the characters and storylines, not the real people behind them. Tourists and citizens alike, welcome. Enjoy the show, and remember, it's all in good fun.
Can I come in? Go in the shower. Where you supposed to be asleep?
Yes,
I want to be downstairs food at the TV.
either that all take 6 breeze to win. No, never played. It was searching for something. They fell asleep. Look like
Well,
mhm.
go back to bed, June. Ugh. All right.
peace. Honestly, that sound like a fair trade to me.
All right, y'all. My apologies. For whatever reason, my computer will not connect to the Wi-Fi, so I had to go from my phone. So give me one sec. Make sure all the other programs are closed. There we go. Just so my phone don't overheat. So hello. How y'all doing? All right. So we're gonna get started. Okay. I apologize for the delay, but one, I had to use facilities, and two, I had to switch devices. So we just gonna roll through it. If you missed Monday Night Raw, then the final moments of Monday Night Raw were very, very important. Okay, because they lended some more layers to this feud between Seth, Roman, and CM Punk. It's added a extra layer of nastiness. Okay, more specifically on Seth's part. They don't call him the architect for nothing. But let's roll through majority of Monday Night Raw. So the show kicked off with the three Goyles for the Women's World Championship, right? Bianca, Rhea, and EO came down there. Adam was down there with the belt, with the contract, and ultimately they came to the decision to add Rhea to the match. It's given very much privileged white woman at this point, and I don't like it. Still, people are cheering Rhea Ripley as if she is the hero in all of this and giving Bianca the blues. Quite frankly, at this point, turn Bianca Belair heel, okay? Turn her heel and let her operate under that guise so they can have a precious hero in Rhea Ripley, but Bianca need to dominate her ass. I mean, bowl over her. Anywhoosies, they got into it because Bianca was like, I did my shit the right way. I went and I tried to win, went in there, got Royal Rumble, got knocked out, got in, told me to win Elimination Chamber, did that, got my shot, and you come weaseling in to earn your way and didn't even earn your way to Mania. Like, if you didn't want to challenge, you didn't want to give EO a spot or a championship match before Mania, you shouldn't have did it. You should have waited, which fair enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's tea, sis? What's going on? And then she wouldn't even let Rhea talk. She was like, nah, you done enough talking. Because she was like, you know what? I signed the contract. And she said, just so you can't have nothing else to say, I'm cool with you being in the match because that just give me a reason to be able to beat your ass. And when I do, I'm walking out of Mania as champ. And she signed the contract. Then Rhea picked up the microphone. She like, you think I'm really scared? She's like, girl, you done did enough talking. You done did enough weaseling. Sign a damn contract. And she threw it at her. So Rhea signed it. It is Rhea threw it back in her chest. Child, they got to fighting and mushed EO's tie again. EO got around the back of them and jumped off that top rope and drop kicked the both of them hoes. Baby, it's gonna be a rough 2 nights. It's gonna be a rough 2 nights for Mania. It really is. Now, we got some other matches on the card. Let me make sure I got all the stuff in here. Hold tight. Okay. So I was only missing one. But as soon as it upload, okay. So Lyra Valkyria and Bailey went at it for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. And Bailey ended up losing because of her own stupidity. Now, I usually am all for you, wanting to have a moment, but you had Lyra down and you had her locked into the sharpshooter. It was done. All Lyra had to do was tap. If Lyra passed out, technically you won the match. She can no longer compete. You were gonna win. That's not a disqualification. But you got up out of the move. And then you tried to do a rose plant to end it, and she was able to counter. That was your fault. You should have stayed in the sharpshooter, babe. You should have stayed in it. Like, who told you to get up? That was your fault. You got mad, and Lyra was like, yo, it was a good match, though. You smacked her hand away, you walking away. Now, Friday, you two hoes were supposed to be teaming up with each other to go up against Liv and Raquel. Girl, I'm assuming that y'all are gonna make it through this gauntlet match together and then go up against them. I really, I'm gonna tell you right now, I do not care. I really wish they would have used this opportunity to truly bolster this women's division with the tag team titles and really use some good teams. You could have taken out Lyra and Bailey and put Lyra and Bailey on the card for another Intercontinental Championship match if that's what you want to do. But you could have had metaphor in that match with everybody else. Okay. You could have had you could have had a lot more going on here. But you chose to be boring. And I don't like that. It just that's just not hitting for me. I definitely don't want to see Liv and Cobra back going up against Lyra and Bailey, but to me, it looks like that's where it's headed. Now, Natalia and Maxine are a new tag team. They haven't even gotten their feet wet as a tag team, which I thought was weird. Like, they could have at least been using these last 2 months to build themselves up as a tag team competing. We already know about Shayna and Zoe being a tag team, so they don't, they're not in a bad position. They've already teamed together. And then you've got Alba and you've got Piper. And then there's Lyra and Bailey, like I said, and then you've got the Disco Twins. Out of everybody, the Party Dance Twins, Kaden and Katana are the best tag team out of all of the tag teams. You could have had some more if you had a double down and brought Lash and Jakara up and made them into and put them in the tag team. You could use Candice, put Candice with somebody. They also got Meat Chin and B-Fab in there, which Meat Chin and B-Fab are okay as a tag team, but they haven't been a tag team long either. So it is what it is. I'm not looking forward to it. I can tell you that right now. But I'm not mad about it. Anyways, Lyra Valkyria won. And then, Lyra wanted to shake her hand. Bailey slapped it. And then she thought about it. She was like, you know what? Let me calm back down. Let me go back and hug her and respect her. So they got a little hug out or whatever. And everything was cool. Right? So then American Made and El Grande Americano had a match today against LWO. It didn't go too well on LWO's part. Y'all know they wasn't gonna win. I don't know what it is, but it's something about them that they just do not get no traction, whether they're in Legado del Fantasma or whether they're with Rey Mysterio. They do not get any traction whatsoever. Now in this match, El Grande Americano took a steel piece and put it in his head, and he headbutted Ray and Dragon Lee while Dragon Lee was trying to remove his mask, and he was able to get the pin for the Team American Made. Now, of course, Rey Mysterio was livid, so he went back there to Adam and was like, "Look, I want a match. Let me pick the time and the place." And Adam was like, "You want a match against Chad Gable? You got it." He said, "No, no, 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 no. I want a match against that El Grande Americano, the man who's making a mockery of Lucha Libre. I want a match against him, and I want it at Mania." Adam was like, "You got it. It's official." I said, "Okay, babe. Cool. It should be mask for mask." I don't know why they skipped that part, but right time I need to expose him for the fraud that he is, but then you didn't make it mask for mask? I guess. I mean, Earth is ghetto, child, and I want to leave. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. Anywho, y'all, let me finish this out. I promise you I won't be on here long because there wasn't a lot going on Raw. I hope y'all can hear me. Okay. So we had some matches with let's get this match out the way. So a New Day went up against the War Raiders. They lost due to disqualification because they brought a chair in and Ivar used the chair. The rest saw him. So it was a DQ automatically. The titles do not change hands on a DQ. During this match, they had that dude, Tony, from that podcast, Killed Tony, and the one who did the Trump inauguration, or not the inauguration, but he did the Trump um, rally at MSG. He had them really weak ass jokes that he told. It wasn't, to me, it wasn't the fact that they were racist. I mean, that's a part of it, but the jokes just weren't funny. He's not funny, at least in my opinion. I could be wrong, but he's not funny to me. He was on commentary, real light in the ass voice type of dude, and he just wasn't worth the time or effort to put him on commentary. I don't get it. I understand they're trying to push Mania, push these shows or whatever, but putting him on commentary was a waste of time. If he had a backstage segment like Bert Kreischer did, like I wouldn't have had a problem with that. But on commentary, it was weird. He doesn't know what he's doing. He obviously had no clue what he was looking at. So it was not. I mean, he knew it was a disqualification, and he knew that New Day wasn't going to get the titles. But no, he should have been just sitting there, just quiet. You know, he was much better when he was quiet. It's the best way to explain it. Anywhoosies, let's talk about Jay Uso. So, of course, Gunther was very happy with the work he had done last week on Jimmy. And I told y'all before that Jimmy was going to be the sacrificial lamb for Jay Uso to finally snap and get himself together so that he can face Gunther. It wasn't going to be a storied underdog story for Jay Uso to go up against Gunther. It's going to be a fight, a real fight. And Jay Uso came out there and cut probably one of the best promos I've heard come from him. It is real emotion. He asked Gunther, like, do he have a mom? Do he talk to her every day? Like, what y'all talk about? Family, the kids, did you cut grass? What you cook for dinner? He said, I got a mom. You know what I talked about with my mom? Do you know? I had to talk about how I had to watch my brother get the hell beat out of him. He said I had to talk to my mom about why my brother got 15 stitches in his head. And you know what she asked me? Do you know what she asked me? She asked me, why didn't you protect him, Joshua? And I said, because I was afraid. He said he could never lie to his mother. I didn't protect him because I was afraid. And he said, you know what, though? In all of this is some clarity. There was a light there that went off. I'm watching you beat the hell out of my brother. And in that darkness, I realized something. I'm not afraid of you no more. And I was like, oh, hell. In this instance, Gunther wasn't smiling anymore because once Jay Uso had removed his glasses, there were no tears. There was no look of fear. That was just pure, unadulterated hatred. Focus. You are his central focus. And I think that kind of knocked Gunther off his rocker just a little bit. He thought he had everything in the bag. He thought when he came out there and he was going to talk his shit, that Jay Uso was going to be a broken man because he had to watch his older brother be massacred in front of him. And not only that, but you took his brother's blood and you had it all over your body. You licked it. You spread it all over you. You wore it like it was a brand new suit for you. And you thought that that was going to break him to the point where he was going to be easy pickings at WrestleMania. But you forgot that there was a factor here that you did include when you try to break a man. There are two ways that he is going to go. He's either going to snap and kill you, or he's going to snap and he's going to be a shell of his former self. And the resilience of Jey Uso is what saved him from being a shell of his former self. He saw his brother go up against you, irregardless of the danger. Jimmy full well knew what he was getting himself into, but he did it because he wanted to show his little brother that in spite of your fear, you have to keep pushing forward anyway. He knew what was going to happen. I don't think he was that much of a fool. But he also knew his brother needed a push to get him over to be the man he needed to be able to take Gunther out. Gunther only responds to one thing, and that's power. So Jey Uso made it very clear. He said the night before WrestleMania, I want you to kiss your family, your wife, your son, your kids, your mother. Tell them you love them. And then that night before Mania, I'm going to lay my head down and I'm going to say a prayer. But I'm not going to say a prayer for me. The prayer is for you because I'm going to ask God to have mercy on you because of the man that I'm going to become. I'm going to destroy you. I'm going to break you down and I'm going to take your championship from you. And he threw the microphone at him and he walked away. There was no fighting. There was no arguments. Jey Uso didn't even let him talk. It was one of the best parts of this feud, and it's probably the best thing that I've enjoyed from this feud. Mainly because everybody doubted what Jey Uso is capable of and what he can do. Nobody really wanted to give him his true props. And now you don't have no choice but to respect him. Hold tight, y'all. Let me see if I can get my computer to.
She said, I need these niggas to lock in. Hey, Nicole. Hello, B. Jeffers. Hello, Lady Gates. Hello, everybody. How are y'all doing? Jey Uso is locked in, honey. He locked in. He ready to go, okay? He is ready. Earth is ghetto. I wanna leave. That look on Gunther's face said everything. Respectfully, I have to agree. Gunther see now that it ain't gonna be as easy as he thought. You know what I'm saying? He said, I need everyone locked in. It's looking sloppy. I will say I'm not a fan of some of the matches on the card, but I will say that I'm not surprised that they're on the card. But I'm going to get to the rest of the mess in a second. I want to try and see if I can get this damn website to load up and let me in so I don't have to be on my phone. So y'all give me a second and I'm going to finish out the recap of Monday Night Raw. Hold tight.
that sound like a fair trade to me. Rolling that wheels in the safety. Riding on you. Gotta roll over to you, gotta give and release. Spread your legs downtown, so I'm going out to eat. Hit the raw sounds when the rock up in your sleep. I'ma roll on the forever, let her roll on me. Split this one down the middle, wake up in a harmony.
Eclipse. Don't close your eyes to get away. Just make my line and I'll arrange it. Beautiful girl, you're stainless. You'll be fine, I'll be painless. Yeah. All I'm drinking is champagne. All you want is the same thing.
Yeah. The 10,000 building, get your ass an apartment, put you inside a G-class, that's just a starter kit. Plenty things count in life, but none of them is the thought of it. New piece around my neck is chess games, but shorty stay with calculated moves like Beth Harmon. Swear I'm more purple rain prince than Prince Charming. Disappointment I stay expecting it. The pessimist gold medalists flush the magnums just so they not collecting my specimens down.
All right, y'all. So I apologize, but I had to get that set up so I can get on my computer because it just makes my life a little bit easier to have it on my computer. Okay, sir. This was a good segment. We loved that for them. We enjoyed it. It was good. Um, everything else was pretty mundane. Like I said, the tag team match, it happened. It could have not happened, honestly, if we're being fair. Um, the last match we had was with Pena and Dominic Mysterio. And now they have this match as a fatal four way. We assumed that it was going to be a triple threat, but it ended up being a fatal four way due to Liv Morgan's interference in this particular match between Finn, Pena, and Braun Breaker. The tag team match solidified Finn being able to weasel in there for a triple threat. But then Liv went and talked to Adam Pierce, and then Dom got added to this in this triple threat. Now, my brain is telling me that Dominic Mysterio could probably walk out of WrestleMania with this IC championship, which, if that's the case, fine. I don't care. I don't mind Dominic getting a main roster title. I really don't. I don't mind it. He's been putting in enough work. He's a good heel. People would hate it, which is why I would probably pull the trigger on it. Braun Breaker's turning into being like an anti-hero type of character as of right now. And I just think it would be a nice way to cause some discourse in Judgment Day. Finn would be livid if Dominic Mysterio got that championship and he didn't get it. He would be absolutely pissed the fuck off. Okay. So these two had a match, pretty decent match. Dominic was able to hit Pena with the Mexican destroyer, and he was able to hit him with the 619. Ultimately, Pena ended up winning this match. However, they looked great. Both of them looked great in the match. Um, Carlito ended up attacking, taking out Pena. They all went on the attack on Pena, and then Braun Breaker came down there. Braun Breaker hit Carlito with the most lethal freaking spear, the most lethal spear I have seen in a very long time. He messed Carlito's ass up, and he did it. He flipped so he could kind of get out of the heavy momentum of him running. But my God, did it look dangerous. It looked so sick. And the flip at the end wasn't awkward and weird like Moose's flip is. Moose's flip is just unnecessary because he can't run that fast in the ring to begin with. So Brian Breaker had picked up speed very quickly. But to keep from taking Carlito out for real with that spear, Brian Breaker. I say a lot of things about Brian Breaker, but one thing I will never say is that man has hops. The speed that he picked up at is fucking nuts. It's crazy. I ain't never seen no shit like that. Yeah, she said same. If Pena don't win, I want Dom to get it. More than likely he will. Like I'm not, and like I said, I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all. Even if it don't cause no discourse in Judgment Day, I'm not mad about it. I would rather Dom have it, and him being a heel like he is, he'll draw some heat to that IC championship. It'll really make it fun. He said Brian is like that torpedo from Mario Kart. No, dead ass. Like for real. That man is crazy fast. The best part of my man arriving was him arriving shirtless. If you like that, I ain't gonna shit on it, Kayla. You live your best life. I'm sure you were very happy to see Brian Breaker with no shirt on. We love that for you. Now, let's get to the finale of this show. Okay, let's get to the end because this was pure psychological warfare by Seth freaking Rollins to manipulate his way into the throes of this match because you have to understand where we were prior to Paul Heyman showing up on Monday Night Raw was a lot of this has started off with CM Punk and Seth freaking Rollins. That was the most intense part of this feud, right? And then as the show progresses and as the feuds began to grow, you start to see that the feud really is waning from Seth and CM Punk, and it started to draw focus to CM Punk and Roman Reigns. We already know where Roman and Seth are in terms of their feud. They can't really add any more layers until they need to, which more than likely they will do probably Friday or next Monday when Roman shows up on Monday Night Raw. But the funny thing about this is how it started. So Paul Heyman shows up on Monday Night Raw. He was scheduled to be there, and he wanted to talk about what he wasn't and going to do and where things stand. And basically, what he said was he was going to be loyal to both men. He was not going to pick sides. He says, I am CM Punk's friend and I am loyal to him. I am Roman Reigns' tribe with his wise man as the tribal chief, and I'm going to be loyal to him. Hold on. So, as Paul Heyman was cutting his speech, he was going to make his third point, and that's when Seth came down to kind of kill that. Seth came down and he told the truth. There were no lies being told by Seth freaking Rollins. If I'm being fair to the game, he didn't lie. Oh, they gave you a black hose for yours.
Heated. So if I put water in it, the machine recognizes the water in the reservoir.
Well, what kind of shit is that?
Keep the hose up so you don't get that condensation like that. Remember, like that
Word, but I had to worry about the condensation, but they give you the hose to stop it, and I gotta pay for it. Yours was free. This is ghetto. I hate it here.
Oh, more than one. Okay. Good for that.
I hate it here. I'd rather you keep your intrusive thoughts to yourself. All right. Seth wasn't lying. He told the truth. He told the truth about Roman Reigns abandoning Paul Heyman, leaving him at the mercy of Solo Sikoa. He told the truth about CM Punk leaving, coming back, and not speaking to Paul Heyman. When he left, he didn't speak to Paul, he just left. And he has been doing his own thing, irregardless of Paul Heyman, this whole time. None of them have taken Paul Heyman into regard in terms of what they need from him. They will use him. And they did. They both did. That's true. That is not a lie. But where we got dangerous is Seth freaking Rollins decided that Paul Heyman was expendable, that he was a problem that needed to be eradicated. Now, he made it very clear that I don't want to be the one to do it, but I will for the sake of the integrity of this match and for the fairness for me, because everybody has a wise man and I'm the odd man out. You're a problem and you have to go. So he said, we could do this two ways. We can have me take you out, or we can have you take yourself out. You know, it's really simple, Pauline. It's just a little kick to the back of the head, a little stomp to the back of the head. You're out like a light. It's quick and painless. Well, it's quick and dirty. Can't really cop for the pain. He said, what's the cost to get you out? He said, is it going to cost this much? And he just starts pushing and poking and pushing and poking. And Paul Heyman is like, don't you put your damn hands on me.
The damn dirty dog.
Okay. And I said, look at Pauline standing up to the alpha dog. And well, ladies and gentlemen, this is where the tide of this turns. Pauline gets pushed into the corner by Seth Rollins, and CM Punk was there tonight. I saw him earlier that night. He was back there eating cereal and shit with a ladder. I don't know where that mini ladder was going, but he had a mini ladder, some milk, and some cereal. Just walking, just walking around. Okay. And then CM Punk came down. They get to fighting. Nobody comes down to stop this. They get to fighting. They get to the steel steps, and it looks like Punk is getting ready to hit Seth with his own move. Seth moves, gets to the ring, and CM Punk makes a fatal mistake because he climbs in the ring under the ropes. He's low, and that's when Seth curb stomps him. Now, the way that they set this up doesn't lend to the credence of him having a a favor to be gained, right? So I'm gonna tell you how they did it, and now I'm gonna tell you how they should have did it. Seth was laid out. He was on the outskirts. He was in the ring in the corner, and Paul Heyman had already got to CM Punk to comfort him to see if he was okay. Seth was getting ready to curb stomp Heyman. Heyman kind of looked up and moved, and Seth stopped. And Seth goes, now you owe me a favor. Okay? I understand the logic behind it, but hear me out on how this could have played out. When they got in the ring, Seth should have hit CM Punk with the Falcon's arrow. Punk should have been able to get up. They got in the ring. Seth hits him hard enough So he would get down and he can hit him and get him in the position to hit the Falcon's arrow, right? And as he's down, he can look like he's getting ready to get up. He's wrestling to get up. And then Seth can almost get ready to curse up him, and Pauline gets in front of him and protects him, like, don't, like, no. And then Seth could then say, I owe you a favor. Now you owe me a favor, because it would look like he was saved by Paul, and Paul was going to like risk his life to save him, but there was no real risk because all Seth wanted was the favor, right? Now, we know CM Punk's favor, but I have a sneaking suspicion of how this may work out. You see, the only one who had the upper hand in this match was CM Punk at the time. And because Paul was going to be in his corner, that didn't give him any advantage in this match. That didn't give him anything per se. He just was going to have his best friend walk him down the aisle like they've always dreamed over 10 years ago. And he gets to be the headliner, the main eventer for WrestleMania. He has fulfilled his one true wish to headline Mania. So, because of that, now we need to, because since we've already eradicated what the first favor is, and there's no more incentive in this match outside of these three men going at it the way we know they are, Steph adding this little bomb in the mix makes things a little bit more messy. So now you can have the conversation of, is Paul Heyman going to remain loyal to the two men who have pretty much, kept him within the company and pushed him forward within the E? Or is he going to pay Seth Rollins back with his favor that he claims he's owed, if he's gonna give Seth this favor and screw CM Punk over? I believe Seth Rollins' hatred for CM Punk overrides anything he has for Roman Reigns. He 100% is gonna screw CM Punk out of winning this match if he can. That is happening. So I'm curious as to how that's gonna play out and how he's gonna play this to his, to his favor. Like, how is he going to play this out so that it works out in his favor? Now, one of two things could happen. This favor situation could play out all the way until Backlash. When they finally go to Backlash and they have their match, they could finally play it out there, or Seth could drag it out and keep it until Mania in his back pocket. And then, of course, Paul Heyman already knows. Paul Heyman seems to be the pawn in this game between these three men. Now, Friday, more than likely, we're going to hear from Cody Rhodes on Friday, and John Cena is owed a receipt. And I'm pretty sure that that man is going to collect this coming Friday. And I know that The Rock is going to rear his head somewhere. He hasn't shown up. He's been pretty much letting John Cena roll with it and keep the reins. So who knows? I am very curious as to how everything is going to play out. But for the rest of WrestleMania, we've got a fatal four way that is set in motion for Mania. We have a triple threat now for the women's match. It's a lot going on in Mania this year. So I'm very curious. I am intrigued. I am intrigued. We got the mask for mask match. Well, I wish it was a mask for mask match. It's just it's a regular ass match. I wish it was a mask for mask. It says they're going to defend the honor of Lucha Libre. Well, Ray's going to defend the honor of Lucha Libre against El Grande Americano. I wish it was a mask for mask. Just make it a mask for mask, goddammit. Like, shit. And they finally updated the graphic for the women's match at WrestleMania as well. So there you have it, ladies and gents. Monday Night Raw is set in stone. She is done. It wasn't the best show, but it was okay. The end was better than what I expected. The beginning was just very predictable. I just wish that they would have done this sooner and just let the girls battle it out. I really hate that they keep, pushing Io Sky to the side and making it seem like she's not relevant in this match. It just lends more credence to my idea that she more than likely is going to be the one to keep that championship, and Rhea and Bianca are going to end up fighting it out later. They did schedule some matches for next week. Karrion Cross is going to face off against AJ Styles next week, and I'm sure Logan Paul is going to show up and do something stupid. Roman Reigns is also scheduled to be at Monday Night Raw next week. It's a lot going on, but Mania seems to be shaping up pretty nicely. Pretty nicely. So let me show y'all the matches that they have available for Mania as of right now. Hold on. Give me one second. So the ones that we know of from Monday Night Raw are Gunther and Jey Uso. They will face off for the men's World Heavyweight Championship. And then you have a triple threat for the women's World Championship. Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, and Bianca Belair will fight for this championship at WrestleMania. What night will they be on? I am not sure, but I imagine because it's a triple threat and it's such a big match with these three women in there, I would say this is going to be on night two. And then their SmackDown counterpart, Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton, they probably will be on night one. They're going to face off for the WWE Women's Championship. And then you have John Cena and Cody Rhodes facing off for the WWE Championship, the undisputed WWE Championship. Now, there are some non title bouts, but I'm going to add the title bouts first. So Jacob Fatu has won and earned the right to face off against LA Knight for the United States Championship. I think that this is going to be on night one as well. And then his counterpart, Braun Breaker, will defend his championship against Finn Balor, Dominic Mysterio, and Penta. Okay. This, I think, will be on night two as well. Um, unless Roman and Seth are gonna be and CM Punk are gonna be the finale, like the end of the show, like the last match of night two, which I don't think that they will be. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe. Hold on. Ugh. Why is there no? Hold on. I think they're gonna headline night one. Y'all think they're gonna headline night one? I think they're gonna headline night one. Unless Cena and Cody close out for night two. Anywhoosies, these are currently the title bouts that are on the card. Lyra and Chelsea's titles are not being defended at Mania, as far as I know. Which I don't know. I thought it was night one. I didn't know. That's why I was asking if it was going to be on night one or not. But yeah. So none of the women's mid card titles are going to be on night on the show. It looks like, and it looks like they may have the tag team titles, and that's the only other women's match that will be on the card. I don't like that. I feel like if you're going to have the men's title match on there, you should have the women's matches on there as well. But I don't know. Maybe that'll make the show too long. I'm not sure. but they gonna have Beyblade and Lyra challenge for the tag titles. I don't know. I imagine that they're gonna be the ones to win that gauntlet match because they got Kaden and Katana in there, BFAB and Michin, Chelsea's her security, is that what she said? How she call them?
Mm-hmm.
She got her entourage in there. They have I low key wish Naomi and Jade wasn't at each other's throats because they could win that gauntlet match and be the next tag team champions. You know what I'm saying? But I'm glad that the two of them get to have a one on one. It's her service. There it is. Thank you. The Hervis, the secret Hervis, babe. Anyway, so the secret Hervis is in there. They have, like I said, Beef and Michin. They have Maxine and Natalia. And Natalia was making a valid point. She was like, we haven't really had a chance to be a tag team yet. You know, I think it's a little premature to put us in this gauntlet match. You know, fair enough. Natalia, like, I don't mind tagging with you, but I don't want to get my ass whooped. I don't blame her. Um, and then they got Bailey and Lyra and Kaden and Katana. So it's very makeshift, if we're gonna be fair. But these are all the non-title bouts, along with Jade and Naomi battling it out. And then this match, this is probably one of the most irrelevant matches on the card, if I'm being honest. I don't care about it. And then we have the final bout, which is Roman Seth and CM Punk battling it out in the ring. These are all your matches for WrestleMania. WrestleMania is in 2 weeks. Actually, by Friday, it'll be 1 week. Oof. Next week, man. Next week. Next weekend. Wow. We also have currently we've got Stand and Deliver. Stand and Deliver still has some matches that it has to add, but right now, damn, babe, think it's loud enough?
I'm doing it on purpose.
Okay. Let's see. Have they added anything new? No, still the same matches. So Stand and Deliver has a few matches on the card. There isn't anything else added to Stand and Deliver right now as we know it. All we have is the triple threat with Obafemi and Javon Evans and Trick Williams for the NXT Championship. And then we have the ladder match that is scheduled to go for the women with a newly vacated Women's North American Championship. Whoever qualifies for this will have the opportunity to be the Women's North American Championship, and they will compete in a ladder match. Two women have qualified. Kaylani has qualified by beating Roxanne Perez, and Zaria qualified by beating Lash Legend. Okay, now they are deciding who Stephanie Vaquer's opponent will be at what's it called? At Stand and Deliver by Jordan Grace and Jada Pitt Parker fighting it out this week, which will be tomorrow on NXT. They're going to battle it out, and whoever wins, I assume, will be the number one contender for Stephanie's NXT Women's Championship. Okay? Sir, hopefully they'll set up Ricky Starks and Ethan Page after we saw Ethan Page attack Ricky Starks after the show was over last week. We also got Nathan Frazier and Axiom and those tag team titles. They need to be set up. And then, of course, we have still got what's his face? What they call him? Dark State. Dark State is still there wreaking havoc. And tomorrow they're gonna be in a 6-man tag team match against the three opponents that are supposed to face each other at Stand and Deliver. And you know them three niggas can't stand each other. So it's gonna be a will they, won't they? Can they work together? And the answer is no, they cannot. But of course, I don't think that Dark State cares. And I think that Dark State is gonna use that to their advantage as any other opponent would. You got a lot going on in NXT. You still got Hank and Tank trying to find themselves, which love that for them. They've been using every other tag team's arsenal but their own. And of course, Tony D'Angelo is still trying to figure out how he's going to navigate Dark State. And Tony D may come into play with this 6-man tag team match that's supposed to happen with Dark State. Now, there's also some discourse going on amongst the family. It seems that Tom Stacks isn't exactly on the same page with the Don. Okay, he's not on the same page with the Don. All right. So we'll have to wait and see how this all plays out. Is Drew and Damian not on the card? At least it's not official, but Drew and Damian probably are going to be on the card by Friday. So, because they've removed Randy's match with Kevin due to Kevin Owens' injury. So, Drew and Damian more than likely will happen on the card. And they say that Randy Orton is going to get a replacement opponent for his match. And they're saying, the streets have been saying that that could possibly be Nick Aldis because Nick Aldis has been RKO'd by Randy twice. The last time Randy did it, he had to pay a fine of $50,000. He gave Nick Aldis 100K in case he was going to need it for a second time, and he did. But that's what the streets have been saying, that Nick Aldis is going to assume that spot and wrestle Orton at Mania, which if I was Nick, I would do it too. A one night only type of thing. Mania at Vegas, and that's a Mania check. Sign me up, bitch. I'll do it. They're gonna say yes. Second year in a row, niggas main event stand and deliver, and that's on period. Okay. So stand and deliver, if they continue on, it should be shaping up to be a pretty decent show. I don't know what else they're gonna do in terms of non-title feuds, other than maybe Stacks and Tony having some type of fight, or Deep State going up against the family. That's pretty much the only place that they could go. But it's gonna be an interesting time because there are a lot of matches that are going to be set and ready to roll. And it looks like they already have the North American Championship mapped out. They already getting ready to start with the tag team titles to get that mapped out. And they seem to have Stephanie's situation already wrapped up in a pretty little bow for her, you know? But it is what it is. She said, Nick dust them trunks off, King, period. So hopefully we'll get to see some chaos on Friday. With I think John Cena should show up Friday. I mean, this is the last one of the second to last week before Mania. He got dropped the week before, so he got to get a receipt on Cody Rhodes. You know what I'm saying? But we'll see what happens on Friday on SmackDown. They didn't say that John Cena was scheduled to be there. I believe Cody is scheduled to be on SmackDown Friday. And as far as I know, the only other match that we are scheduled to see is the Gauntlet match on Friday. And of course, the confrontation between Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest. That's it. That's all for this week in wrestling. Oh, Dynamite just had a show this past Sunday. I want to say they had a show. Um, they had some matches. Swerve Strickland lost. We love that. Um, Tony Storm retained her championship against Megan Bayne. She had a really funny press conference, which she usually does, but she had a really funny press conference. I don't know what else happened, but everybody else told me about the Young Bucks coming back and pretty much costing Strickland the title. Sure. Uh, don't know where that's gonna go, but Moxley weasels away with the title again. Darn it, I guess. Anthony Bowen came back, which love that for him. Came back and beat Max Caster. Max Caster has been drowning as of lately. Um, but yeah, Wrestling seems to be shaping up, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys are enjoying these couple of weeks before we hit Mania. And I promised y'all that I would do go live Mania night 2, and we're gonna sit and we're gonna chat, and I'm gonna, talk my shit while watching the show. We're gonna have a good time. Okay. So make sure y'all come on over here while y'all watching the show too and kick it with me, and we gonna wild out a little bit. Any whoosies, I got to go. I appreciate y'all for coming over here listening to me rant and rave about wrestling. I will see y'all on Wednesday where we talk about NXT. We'll talk some more about, you know, WrestleMania, give our predictions on who we think is going to win. Okay. And then we'll do some more life and advice stuff at the end. And of course, SBC chat like we always do. So I'll see you guys then. Have a good night. I love Jess. And there's a special live this week on Saturday. We'll be reading Rico's book. Rico's book is going to be read. So get you some wine and get you some snacks or something. Get you a little crossword puzzle or something. Sit down and chill and listen to me read Rico's book because it is a tall tale. It's a messy tale, but it's a good one. That one is Saturday. That's gonna be Saturday. So we're gonna chill and do that. So we got a lot of lives this week. I am feeding you guys. I'm feeding you guys. Oh my god. With all that being said, I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Have a good night.
Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe for more wrestling content. Check out our merch and consider becoming a member for exclusive perks, special emojis, and members-only content.